Hey guys, good morning. It's Monday. How is everybody?
Hey, good morning, Kayla. I'm great. I think we got a really good topic today, kind of going into the holiday season, getting ready for the new year, and why that's important. Before we started talking about this, it made me think of the time I got a listing like 2 days before Thanksgiving, or it might have been the day before Thanksgiving. I remember I had a bunch of family in town. They're like, "You're going to go to that appointment?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And I sold the house I got the listing. There was another guy in town I was going up against, and I got winning it, which was awesome. And there's supposed to be four, but only two of us would actually take the appointment. Him and I went at it, got the listing, sold it for $550, made $15,000 on that one. And they've been really good clients ever since. But the thing that they liked about me going out there and doing that is that I was willing to do it during the holidays, and I was willing to do it 2 days before Thanksgiving. And that just made that big of a difference. And from that one client, I got 3 additional clients as well. I always think about that during the holidays because I'm like, I wonder if I should have actually gone on the listing appointment, because maybe I missed a couple hours from, some time with some family and friends. But I look back on it and I had a goal, right? And I wanted to get to a certain spot in my life. And it's like my wife says, everything that you did for the last 6-7 years to become financially free has been totally worth it, because look at where we're at right now. I don't even really think about those 3 hours I missed out on.
Well, and I think the thing is too, it wasn't that you missed out on Thanksgiving. I think a lot of people, one of the biggest challenges that we see in the industry is when people think the holidays are really 2 days.
Yeah.
3. If you do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, right? So maybe max 3 days that are technically off, technically time with family. We're not going to go take a listing appointment on Christmas Day, right? We're not going to do. But a lot of people seem to picture these single day holidays as an entire week long. It's like, oh, I couldn't possibly go on the Monday of Thanksgiving week. That would be ridiculous. You got to change that mindset. And I think that's where you hit the nail on the head. You didn't really miss Thanksgiving. It was the week of Thanksgiving. It
was a couple days before. Yeah.
Whereas no one else was willing to do it. And you walked out there okay, well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to get the listing. You could have probably had a very basic, even listing presentation, and they still would have signed with you because they're like, you're here. Thank you. We need you now.
There was 4 of you guys. Now there's only 2, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, the other 2 just didn't want to come because it was too close to Thanksgiving. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'll take it on. Let's do this. Let's see what we can do.
Right. So I think that's the first piece of this is, keeping that momentum, in my opinion, is really just wrapping your brain around the holidays are not 2 full months. The holidays are 3 days, and let's throw in 2 extra days there. Let's throw in New Year's and New Year's Day. All right. 5 full days, which, by the way, this year lands on a weekend.
Yep.
So this is normal season. Everybody just takes their foot off the gas pedal. It's the holidays. Start working on what we talked about a few weeks ago, which is that schedule, right? Yeah. Create a holiday schedule. That might be something that someone is concerned with. Then create the schedule that works for you in the holidays, but then stick to it. I mean, what for you? I know I've had some phenomenal January, Februarys, and it's because October, November, December, I just cranked through it. What have you done in the past? I know I'll talk about what I did, but what have you done in the past that's kind of kept that momentum moving forward? What was the mindset, or what were the tools you used to do that?
Yeah, so let's talk about the mindset. I think the biggest thing was the mindset, right? I knew that there were going to be less fishermen out in the ocean fishing at that point in time. So I was going to go out there, throw out couple lines and see what I could do to get some stuff, right? Because as the holidays are going into, and you're transitioning into the holiday season and whatnot, less and less people are going to be out there throwing their phone lines out there to kind of hook a listing or whatnot. And guess what? I was going to be out there doing that. So I was going to stick to my schedule. In some cases, I was actually going to double down because there wasn't a whole lot to do, because sometimes you wouldn't have those listing appointments as often or as frequent, because people would say, oh, the holidays, or I'm waiting till springtime. But what I found is that I could really build the relationships with the potential client, the seller and buyer at that point in time, and that there was going to be a lot less competition, right? So if I went after a cancel, expired, for sale by owner, or an investment property, there's going to be a lot less people going after that. So my chances of getting it were going to be a lot higher than if it was a spring season or the middle of January, where everybody's at the gym, everybody's on the phones, everybody's doing everything. I just found that to be more of a shooting fish in a barrel type time to really build that. Because here's the thing, when I did that, come middle of January, come February, March, April, my phone was ringing off the hook with, hey, you followed up with us in October, November, December, and you kept calling us. We're ready to list now. You're the only one that stuck with us through that season and give us the attention, so we're going to go with you. And that was nice to have those lay downs, right?
This was easy, but when you think about it, it was like you're getting those calls because you did the work on the front end. I was doing, what was it? I was doing FSBO calls the other day. We're going to go reset again, go back a couple months and call them through, just the ones that didn't want to do anything, didn't want to have the conversation, whatever it was. I didn't have them on a follow-up yet because we hadn't really connected. And literally, I would say half of them said, oh yeah, I had gotten a lot of calls a few weeks back and no one has called since. And I was just like the things that we say all the time where people call once and they never call back. It was someone reiterating it right back to me where their phone was ringing off the hook the first day. Not to say don't call the first day. I'm just saying that's when everybody was calling, but no one bothered to call a second time or a third time or a fourth time. It just stopped. You're the one that keeps showing up. You're going to want to get it. One of my agents this morning, she said, hey, got a listing appointment. It's in a great area in Chantilly, which is a really popular area around here. She goes, house is great. And she said the only reason she took the appointment is because I'm the only one that kept following up.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's that persistence and consistency. So you make a great point with you're going to be out there hunting and fishing when no one else is. No one else is making the calls. These people still need help, but we even tend to, I think going back to the mindset, we even have that belief, right? You ever have your clients like, well, when's the best time to list? I'm like, literally anytime. Put it on the market. We will help you sell it. I don't care if we put things on the week of Christmas. It's still getting sold. Like it's not the end of the world. I
usually sell between 25 to 35 homes a month in December, right? It's with my team. It's been incredible. Those are years past, right? For the past 3 or 4 years. So who knows what this year is going to be like, but we're looking strong for that. The other thing that I think is really important that you talked about with the for sale by owner is pick 10 for sale by owners, 10 canceled, 10 expireds, and 10 like SO or 10 other lead sources that you have, right? So there's 40 people there. And send them a happy Thanksgiving text message and a happy or like a Merry Christmas one. That way you're hitting those leads and you're taking your warm ones to hot or your hot to let's list or let's buy at that point in time. Because how many other agents are going to do that? There's not a lot that are going to do that. If you can pick out those 10 from each sector and then you have anywhere from 30 to 40 leads that you're texting that on the holidays, you're going to get a better chance of that conversion. That's what I've done past.
It's so funny. I've done that as well. Either a text or a letter, both. Like one thing that I started doing forever ago, so I'm making notes for everybody, by the way, you see me typing away. So one thing that I've done in years past and still do today, whether it's holidays or not holidays, if you have a conversation with somebody, send them a letter. It doesn't matter how the conversation ended. Like I buy these little notes, something shiny and fun, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be logoed. Something that just says, hey, thanks for taking the time to connect. That when I walk in the room, because I will and eventually set that appointment, and I walk in the room, we've got that type A personality with their stack of paper of all the things I've sent them and my letter with the envelopes like on the top of the stack. They got it. They appreciated it. But if you don't want to mail something, I know mail is getting expensive, but that text message goes a long way. Like who are you on Thanksgiving? It's going to be their family or their good friends. Happy Turkey Day. You're the only real estate agent that's going to go, hey, Barbara, it was great talking to you last week. I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope your family is doing wonderful.
Or send a quick video. What's it take to record a quick video? Hey, Kaila, it's James Mitchell. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great day. I want to make this video for you to inspire you to make sure you eat a ton of turkey or something like that. Something silly, right? Make them laugh. I had a mortgage lender do that to me, a couple of them. Happy birthday, because my birthday was yesterday. And through a video, and I'm like, wow, that was really cool. I like that. One of them was hilarious. He did a great job, but it made an impact on me,
I love that. That's where you start getting that conversion where people, they see you as a person, not as a voice on the phone. So I would take this into the second part there where a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's the holiday. When am I going to have time? Let's talk about the time that it takes to send 10 videos. You're doing 30-second videos. That's a total of 10 full minutes, maybe 20. First thing in the morning, before the kids get up or while somebody's making the stuffing, step into the other room and just real quick. Let's face it, you take a shower that takes longer than 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure you can find 20 minutes to do it, but it could mean the difference between coming back from Thanksgiving break, having a deal or not, or it could be the difference of the day after Thanksgiving, having a text that says, hey, James, I'd love to list with you. Why don't you come by on Monday when we all get back into town? And we're not, mean, I know you're not saying this and I'm not saying this. You're not going to not get a deal because you don't text someone on Thanksgiving. But if you have the ability at your fingertips, these are just things you can do just to get a little extra, right? Just to do that one thing more that someone else isn't doing.
You know what? If you have an end of year goal or a very strong goal that you want to meet in 2023, sorry to say this, but do the fucking work and put yourself out there and do what it takes to do that. And you're going to see the results happen. If it means sending a little video to somebody or a text message to some hot leads, it's going to make a huge freaking difference, dude. It just is. And if you can't commit to doing something like that, then your goal is not big enough or it's not important enough to you. So I know for me, every single morning that I woke up, I thought about that goal of becoming financially free. And I did it within 5 years, right? And then I really solidified it and got to a different level of financial independence within 7 to 8 years of that. But it was all because consistency of doing that. And I know you said like you're not going to go to a listing appointment on Christmas. I did solidify a deal at 9:30 at night on Christmas night. All my family was asleep. The guy's mom needed to get the house sold, and I was just like, whatever. I'm just going to get this underway and get it done. Right? Had interviewed against 9 other agents for this expired listing that I kept coming off the market, and finally I got it I had the opportunity to get it under contract. I was like, I'm going to do this. So make sure that if you set those goals, that goal is important enough to you, and if that goal is important enough to you, you're going to send a text or a video to those important leads. So to help somebody.
Well, and I'm going to bring up the conversation. There's a lot of people that say, yeah, but I want to grind till I die, right? What I want to point out here is do you want to meet the goal? That's really what it is. You want to meet the goal. You can always adjust your goal where you're not grinding as much. You could always adjust where you want to be. But for example, you wanted to be financially free in 5 years. So you have to take a step back and say, what will it take for me to hit that? What are the goals yearly? What are the goals monthly, weekly, daily that I need to reach? And the thing is, it's not that you're like, hey kids, I know you just got your presents from Santa, but daddy's going to go take a work call. This is, being strategic with your time. And again, we're only talking about the possibility of running into this scenario 3 days out of the next 2 months, you guys. Like this isn't like every single day you're making these life or death choices, but there's a balance between immediate action, right? You could take the phone call and say, hey, we're about to sit down to dinner. May I call you back at 9:30 after I put the kids down? On Christmas, everybody be like, oh yeah, I'm surprised you even pick the phone up at all, right? Yeah. There's this nice balance there, but if you are the invisible dad or the invisible mom who just disappears because the phone rings for hours at a time, that's you not having control of the situation. That's not you not controlling your schedule or your goals, but you can control it and still show up when other people aren't showing up. And I'm hoping I'm being clear to everybody. I know you and I both get this, but I want to make sure that that's clear because I don't want anybody thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to be this real estate monster who just hustles till I die and I'm never around for Christmas. That's not the thing. Own your schedule, but be prompt.
I mean, I never really worked on a Thanksgiving or a Christmas day. Like if I had to do some stuff, I'd wake up early and get it done before my kids or family woke up. Or like that call I took was at 9:30 at night. All my family was asleep. So I thought, why not just do this real quick and get it solidified? But you talked about your goals going from yearly to monthly to weekly, daily, right? But what we need to also look at is like, what are the activities in order to reach those goals? Goals are great, right? Hey, if I want to get one listing a day, it's my goal. But what are the activities that you need to do if you're going to break it down that much, right? And that's what me and you are going to be going over with a lot of people. That's what we've already proven to ourselves and proven to our teams and proven to, our financial independence that we have at this point in time is we know what activities it's going to take and the mindset it's going to take to get to that spot. So really just kind of look at what those activities are. And if they're sending those text messages, send it at 7:00 in the morning, be the first person to send it, right? Yeah. Or send it the night before Thanksgiving. Just say, hey, was just thinking of you. I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow with my family. I hope yours is great, but I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Something to that extent. I've done that. And they're like, oh, thanks for thinking of me, but you're the first person there. So.
I love that. And that's such a great point too. I know I did in the past. And actually a mutual friend of ours told me this a long time ago. Perfection will make you broke. Good enough will make you wealthy. And that's really what it comes down to. Like a lot of people are like, we want the perfect solution or the perfect system or it's not perfect. Life isn't perfect. Us trying to get on this call this morning wasn't perfect. My thing was down, it wasn't connecting, and it was just, this is life though. But we still just keep showing up. Like even if it's not perfect, you just keep showing up. And I think that is something that a lot of people have to grasp. Your business is not going to be perfect, but if it's showing up enough times, even if it's not perfect, it's still going to get noticed. Where a lot of us do is we hold back and go, well, until I have that perfect email plan, until I have that perfect, schedule, until I have that perfect, you're not taking the action. I would tell you guys, throw that out the window, especially the next 2 months, and just go balls to the walls. Call all of the numbers you possibly can. Talk to every person you bump into, no matter who or what it is. If they have a pulse, ask them about real estate. And if you can truly do that, I mean, we're halfway through November. It's shocking, but literally Thanksgiving is a week away, and I don't know how that happened.
I know, that's just crazy.
I do know. We were talking about Mav last night. I'm like, wow, he'll be here in T-9 weeks. How did that happen? And it's everything will sneak up on you. But if you're not taking action now, you're going to be 9-10 weeks in the future and go, I've wasted all of that time. Like nothing has actually occurred versus just taking action. So we were talking about that the other day, even with calls. Yeah, you can have scripts, but unless you practice them, but then use them, like when you use them, that's when you get the most practice. Like it sounds bad, I always say practice before you get on the phone. Don't practice when you're on the field. But at the same time, unless you get that real life experience.
No, and that's why, like, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but like keeping a listing journal or a call journal or something like that, right? What are the objections that you're coming up against? What made you feel good on the call? What made you feel bad? What were some of the things that you wish you would have done, right? And then what you do is you take that stuff that you've taken notes on, and then you apply it in your role play with somebody else, or you just practice it with your spouse, or even within your own office, like looking at the mirror and talking about it. So using this time to build the skills up so that when 2023 comes, you're going to hammer the heck out of it, right? Because it could be really hard out there, but everybody says it's going to be really hard out there in 2023. Positives to all that is that there's going to be less competition.
100%. I don't know about you guys. In our MLS, we've already had 5,000 people that have dropped out of the MLS.
That's
5,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty sizable MLS. It takes up like half the state, but it's still a lot. That's a whole lot. So when you guys are looking at market share, there's big companies all across the country. There's big teams all across the country. They are seeing this opportunity. And they're actually pushing more into advertising. A lot of people are like, oh my God, save the money, run away, hold tight. And they see exactly what's happening. They're pushing into investment. They're pushing into production. They're pushing into doing their prospecting. That's it. They're doubling and tripling down on that. Take a cue out of their book. Do exactly that. Double and triple down. But I know for the end of the year, I've altered some of my goals. So I'm going to talk about that for a minute. Alter your goals. Maybe we got a little overzealous and we got sidetracked, or other things happened in life, because it's life. So you're going, all right, well, I had to do this, but there's no way I'm going to we're not all James Mitchers of the world. I'm not going to get 20 listings in the next 30 days, right? And that's where the mindset hits, and you go, because I know I can't do that because I've never done it before, even gotten close, I'm just taking my hands off the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. What I would recommend instead, and I know you've probably done this in the past, alter your goal a little bit to where it's still something that's going to push you, but you can fight for that number, right? You can say, I'm not going to get 20, but you know what? I'm going to kick ass to get 10.
Yeah.
Hey, like you didn't fail. But if you take your hands off the wheel and just give up, that's giving in.
Yeah, because sometimes when you make those gigantic goals like that, it can be more crippling than it can be helping, right? So then you cut that in half, and then you're like, damn, that's actually attainable, and I can actually do this. Like, let's go out there, kick some butt, and then reassess if I want to do that 20. I think that's great, Kaila. That's really, really good advice. So what kind of was your thought process on why you wanted to kind of reset your goals and whatnot? What kind of made you, because I've done that before too, right?
Yeah.
And I have my reasoning, but I wanted to kind of just see how did that make you feel after you reassess those goals and whatnot?
I would say my initial thought on it was, wow, I failed, right? But I'm a high producer. That's just how my brain works. I'm like, oh, if I don't hit what I thought I was going to hit, I'm a failure. So like that initial piece was, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. However, once I looked more clearly at it, I said, okay, but I've done everything I feel I could have done to hit this number. And then I reassessed. Now, once I went ahead and reassessed where the goal was at and what was attainable, that's where I felt I got energy again. Like that's where I was like, I re-energized and said, okay, well, let's go freaking hammer this. I'm not selling the entire city. I'm saying I am going to do these clear steps. And that's another thing that helped me do. I basically, instead of saying just take a number and just half it, right, and go at it randomly, instead I looked at, okay, what's in my pipeline? What do I have availability to? What is my average appointment set per day? What is my average? And I basically reassessed that into the days of what was left and said, okay, this is what I know is achievable. And if I go slightly beyond that, I've succeeded even more, overproduced on what I thought I could do. And once I did that, not only did I get really freaking close to that goal, because now I saw that I could do it, I could taste it, I got re-energized for it. So I hit the ground running. like boom, 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 because I wasn't sitting there looking at the thing, like looking at the clock going, I know I'm not going to hit that. Why am I even trying? So what was it for you? Did you have the same experience?
Yeah, so I'm going to go the opposite of what that, right? So I've had goals that I crushed. I got it. I'm going to lean back and just kind of relax. And then I was like, you know what? Screw that. Why not take advantage of everything that I have going in this pipeline right now and the momentum I have and the energy and motion and go after it and set 5 more lists, right? So I think there's 2 parts to that for sure. And so I think if you're either the goal is too big, then you back it off, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon type thing. But for me, that's always been like, I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose. But that's just me, right?
I prefer the more realistic ones and then hitting it or getting close and then making it bigger. That's how I've set goals in. Like initially it was the go big or go home. And then it was like, let's be realistic, but let's also push myself further as I see him getting up to the line.
I think the other thing, I wanted to retire at, say, 47, right? Or be able to retire at 47. I remember writing that down at a seminar I was at. And then all of a sudden I started seeing all this stuff play. Wow, maybe I could shrink this goal to like 40, right? And then maybe I could shrink it to 35, really? And I turned 35 yesterday. Here I am. I'm at this spot, right? So it's just, you can always reassess those goals too. And here's the other thing. On top of like all the success and whatnot, there's been stuff that I thought, oh, I could easily attain that. And then I'm stressing myself out to a point where I'm crippling myself too, where I'm like, dude, I am so exhausted. I have so much anxiety. I'm so scared that I'm not going to be able to meet this goal. F this, let's just recalibrate. And this is where I want to hit, right? And I want to just get little wins, little wins, little wins. Oh, there's a bigger win than those 4 other little wins. Oh, okay, I'm going to go with this, go with this, go with this. And then boom, it just starts snowballing onto each other.
Well, I think you make a good point there. It's, first off, happy belated birthday. But I think that's a big part of where people are at. They get that fear factor of, oh, well, I can't shrink it or I can't grow it, or it has to be exactly what I thought it was going to be. It doesn't. Like, you have the ability to change it and alter it. And I am the same way as you are. It's like, okay, I can hit my goal, but man, what if I stretch it a little bit more? And it reminds me, I'm not a runner myself, but I was a swimmer, and it was, they make the comment, swim through the wall.
Yeah.
And what that meant was, when you're coming, we've all watched the Olympics, the only time anybody ever watches swimming. It's okay. It hurts, not hurt. But when people come in the wall, what do? They come in full force. Like, I mean, I've seen people dislocate fingers and jam fingers and break hands because you come in with such force, because you do not want to back up off of that stroke, versus going, and we're going to cruise in.
Yeah.
Right? The cruise in is where you lose because the guy next to you hit it. Now, we're all swimming our own race. We're all running our own race. But when you go through the wall, because your goal is that set, that you're not slowing down momentum, it doesn't matter what the day on the calendar looks like, it's swimming through the wall. And it's the same with running. You don't stop right before you hit the ribbon. You run through the ribbon, and you don't slow down until you are fully in the clear. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They look at the calendar and they look at the date on the calendar and say, well, it's about time to slow up now. And they do. It just totally fucks with their heads that they're like, it's at the end of the year. So I would kind of add this as we're kind of wrapping up here. The calendar doesn't control your income. It doesn't control what your activity should be. We talked about it over and over. What you're doing now is going to show up in January, February anyway, right? So you having these goals to the end of the year, you're setting these appointments right now. Picture that the clock already reset. You're in start over mode right now. You do your rolling calendar however you want to see. You want to do January? Cool. You want to look June? Cool. Like, it really doesn't matter, but we are constantly cycling over and over and over again. You could have no start and no end. And if you start looking at that, like, every year is not just a build upon the last.
I think that's great. I want to give everybody that's watching something tangible to do, right, for their goals and their activities. I think a goal and an activity that everybody should do is 15 contact for the next 5 days a week until we get to January, right? And then you want to bump that up to 25, 30. I think you need to send out 5 text messages to your SOI. So go through your phone, see who your sphere of influence is, write SOI in there. And that way, when you type SOI into your search, you're going to be able to easily text those people. And then I think you send 5 thank you cards of like, hey, thank you for your support this year with my real estate business. If there's anything you need, please let me know, right? So you're sending text thank you cards and you're trying to make 15 contacts per day. And I think that'll help you out a ton. And then the other thing I would do is put one post on Facebook that's personal and one post on Facebook that's business. And whether that's just a post or it's a video, I think that'd be great. So those are the tangible things that I would leave everybody with, to where they're going to be able to move forward in the next 2 months and move forward for 2023 that'll make a big impact for them going forward.
I love that. And like, if you guys really think about that, it's not that hard.
No,
like,
it takes an hour.
It's not that hard. It's very tangible. And if you
90
don't
minutes.
have, this should be very tangible because you should have at least some time blocked out. And if it's not full of appointments, you've got time to be doing this. If I don't have appointments in the afternoon, I am prospecting or doing these activities.
Yep, absolutely.
I love it. Well, hey, I want to give a shout out too, because we've been talking about it and we've had a lot of feedback with people out inside and outside of Masters in Real Estate that keep talking about coaching. They're like, hey, do you do coaching? I know you have this, I see the content that's being put up, but are you going to start a coaching class? Are you putting up courses? What's going on? So we weren't going to release it for a little while, but we decided, well, we might as well. So here we are. So yes, we are launching our group coaching course. James, you want to tell everybody a little bit more about that?
So it's going to be one call a week, and we're going to be at $69 for the month, which you're going to get a ton of exposure to. Kaila and I, we paid for a lot of masterminds that we've been in. We paid for a lot of coaching. We're going to bring that all to the table. We've also been top producers in our own respect. I sold 318 deals last year for a little over 100 million. So far, we've done a little over 260 deals this year for over 100 million already. Kaila's been over 100 deals a year a few times, and she's rocking and rolling. We both bring a different aspect, more like get on the phones, hammer that out. Kaila's really good with social media and helping like with client events and whatnot, and really making a business. So I think what everybody's going to get is they're going to get two different forms of success and be able to merge those into one. We're also very, very, very into financial independence. So where we're buying rental properties, we're going out there looking for deals. We know how to do some wholesale. We know how to do fix and flip, but we know how to get clients to list with us and work with us through the buyer side. We know how to build a team. We know how to show you how to get a transaction coordinator, team manager, and build agents underneath you and help them be successful along the way. So you're going to get all of that. I know that was a ton, but you're going to get the yin and the yang of the real estate and be able to take full advantage of your 2023 by partnering up with us and helping us get you to a spot where you want to be, because we're both very, very passionate about this. And Kaila and I have been talking about this for months. Maybe even a year, but really seriously months about this. And we just think that we can bring some really, really good value to everybody. So
I love it. I really
$69 a month to change your career. Yep.
Well, and I'm also going to add to that follow-up processes. So I know a lot of people get very caught up with like, how does that all work? How do I put it together? Like, I hear you guys doing these great things, but it seems so high level. We're really going to break it down, and we're going to have the opportunity for those that are in that course. You'll receive discounts on I'm going to call this back up. Those of you that are in our group coaching, you're going to receive discounts on the very specific detail-oriented courses that we're going to be putting out on these topics as well. So our goal is to help you. Some people just need a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a punch to say, okay, here's the one thing you're missing, and you just go after it. And we love that. But we realize some people want a more specific approach where you're doing a step-by-step, here's how you follow it. And there are going to be courses we're putting out over the next few months. Those of you that are in our group coaching, you will receive a discount on that. If you don't want to be in group coaching, that's totally fine. I think it's a legit steal of a deal. Yeah. Starting at $16 a month, then it's for pre-registration. I'm sure as we start filling it up, it'll go up a little bit from there. But we're going to get that out to you guys. But you can join the course. You can keep just getting some Monday motivation from us from Coffee and Contracts. But our goal is to make the industry better. Those that are remaining in the industry that really want to fight for it, we want to make sure we've got like the best agents out there possible that are crushing it. Pre-registration forms here soon.
I'm excited about this, Kaila. It's going to be amazing. So I would definitely pay $69 a month for this for two people that have done really well. Yeah, and I'm excited just to help other people. I know the coaching students that I've had and you've had, they've seen really good success, and I'm ready to bring something to the table and help some people out and make their 2023 and their future look even brighter than it is right now.
I love it. Well, thanks, bro. Enjoy what looks like it's freezing there, although I know you love your hoodies. So
California, yeah, I do love my hoodies. California's a little cold right now. So.
Fall has finally arrived. Enjoy the sunshine. I'm going to go make some prospecting calls myself. And for everybody out there, thank you so much for coming. I know I'm putting this at the end. I should have at the beginning, but let me know if this is recorded or if you saw it live. And we'll see you again next Monday. We'll have some more notes coming out to you in email here soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Kaila. You guys have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.